Hi there, welcome to today's video. For today's look, I was inspired to recreate something that I saw from Katie Marie. All of her information is linked down below in the description box if you want to check it out. I recommend looking at her channel and her Instagram because she's very creative and she's got lots of good content over there. But recently I saw some looks that she had shared using the Planet Spirit palette from Oden. Honestly, it's probably the first 3 looks that she did when the palette was launched, which was some time ago. So I thought that today I would recreate one of them. If you want to see that, stick around. Alright, so today I want to do something which is fully inspired by Katie Marie. I'm going to link her channel down below as well as her Instagram, and I will show you a picture of my inspiration here. She did 3 looks, I think it was, with the Planet Spirit palette from Oden and Betty Jean, and I will admit I struggle with this palette. I think the colors are great. This one broke twice. It just feels incomplete to me. Like, I think the colors are beautiful. I wish it were fleshed out a bit more. Maybe add 5 more pans. I know it was in collaboration, specific sizing, I get it. I'm just saying, as a standalone, if we had added 5 more shades that rounded out the palette a little bit more, 1 or 2 pastels, 1 or 2 deeper tones, or removed 1 full color, like taken out maybe the teal row and brought in a pastel and a deep tone, or taken out one of these and deepened it a little bit. I'm not sure. I think it's a lovely, fun, circus tent kind of palette, but I struggle with it. I just do. So when I saw Katie Marie's 3 looks with this palette, I was thinking those are just lovely. They're interesting and fun ways to combine these colors. And I thought maybe I would try to recreate one of them and see if I can generate some excitement about the palette. I don't want to keep it if it doesn't excite me. If I don't want to reach for it, want to use it, then it's simply taking up space. And I don't want to hold on to things that just take up space. So that's what I'm going to do today. I will be recreating one of the looks that she did, and maybe I can just get myself excited about these colors in and of themselves, and I'm happy to pair them with other things. I always do that. I'm always pulling from multiple palettes to create a look. There's no reason why I shouldn't do the same with this. It's just, I don't know, there's something about it. So anyway, I already primed my eyes. I used the Glamlight Icing Primer in the shade Buttercream. I've got my bubble tea here. I'm trying a new flavor. This is green apple. Usually I get Thai or honeydew or something, but I thought I'd try something new. I think that in this look, Katie actually used almost all of the shades in the palette. So I think she just avoided the purples. Everything else I believe is going to be used. So I'm going to dive in. I'm working off of memory. I don't have the picture next to me, but I deconstructed the look when I was looking at my phone, and now my phone's recording. So here we go. Here we go. Let's start with this orange shade. It's called Habitat. This is a Surge EO2, and I'm going to use this on my inner crease area. Do you guys like bubble tea? I love bubble tea. My daughter actually treated me to today's bubble tea. I recently treated her and her friend to one. And then my daughter and I were playing around and we said the same thing at the same time. So I said, Jinx, you owe me a bubble tea. Because who wants a Coke? And she said, I would buy you a bubble tea. So that's how I ended up with a bubble tea. Anyway, it was fun and lovely and tasty. I really like bubble tea. It's a very entertaining kind of drink. I find that I enjoy, now taking Sanctuary, I find that I enjoy drinks that have texture. Like when I make a smoothie, I'll put macadamia nuts in there and I'll blend it around until I have these little chunks of macadamia nut, and it's just texture. You drink the smoothie and it's smooth until it's not, and it's fun and interesting and unexpected. Bubble tea fits in very nicely with that. I think perhaps my problem with this palette is actually the tealy green tones, because everything else is so cohesive with the orange and reds and purples and yellows. It's kind of fiery. I think that these tones, while they're fun, they don't really fit. Maybe that's what it is. If these had been replaced with more yellow tones, like a pastel yellow or mustard yellow, something that works with the rest of these, that might have felt more cohesive to me, more put together, more intentional. As far as the theme, Planet Spirit, I'm not sure what those tones are meant to represent. Like maybe it's the earth or like foliage within a jungle. I don't know. I have a little bit of trouble with it. Same brush now into Rescue. I'm going to go in very lightly and hit only the edge of this pink area. Really, really lightly. And just gently soften. I have a napkin on my lap, so I will buff for a little while and then hit the napkin to try to remove any product I may be picking up, because I don't want the color to go all the way up to my eyebrow. But again, because there's no pastel, you have to just work really, really gently with the colors that you have. A pastel would have helped that transition. All right, I've gone back into Sanctuary and I'm dragging that onto the outer area of the lid, just pulling it down a little bit. I would love to know, what is your favorite Oden's Eye palette? My top favorites are still the Christmas palettes from 2022 and the Sea Talk palette from Lauren May Beauty. I really like Oden's Eye. I really like all of the palettes that I have from them. But there's gotta be something at the top and something at the bottom, right? And since everybody seems to love ranking videos, and I enjoy doing them, I have made various videos ranking my Oden's Eye palettes, but I would like to know what your favorite Oden's Eye palette is. Or have you not even tried the brand? I know they're not everybody's cup of tea. I have heard a few people tried them and didn't really care for them. Some people haven't tried them at all. But I think that a lot of my subscribers like Oden's Eye. So I would just like to hear what your favorite is from the brand. This is very much a me kind of look. I mean, Katie and I have a really similar aesthetic. I'm picking up Majestic with a flat brush and then I'll spray it. I just don't think that I personally have done much with this palette. And do you hear my baby upstairs? She's just happily chatting away. The three sisters are all upstairs playing and the baby's up there making, well, she's making baby noises. Anyway, even though Katie and I have a really similar aesthetic, Katie is a bit more adventurous with color. She'll just dive into whatever colors. I don't think she takes the time to really stop and wonder, will these look good together? She just goes for it. And I really admire that bravery, because that's kind of what I want to do and want to be. But sometimes I feel myself holding back because it might just be the time. Like, and I know Katie's in the same boat, but maybe she doesn't feel like this because we have little kids and just a small part of the day that we can carve out for this. I might be holding back now and then because I'm afraid it's going to look terrible and then I've wasted my time and I'm going to wash it off anyway. There have been a few times where I've kept an eye look that I didn't love just because I didn't want to feel like I'd wasted my time, but I very rarely will dislike a look so much that I just wash it off. Same brush now into Fauna, the multi-chrome in the palette. This one has hard panned on me, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. But I'm kind of rummaging around into the pan and picking it up nicely on my brush and then I'll spray it. But Katie, she will go for it. She'll just dive in because of that courage, I'll say, courage to pair wild colors together. She often ends up with really unique and interesting kinds of looks and it just tends to work. And I think that's fun and pretty. And when I'm feeling uninspired by a palette like this one, I was so excited to see the three looks that Katie did because she proved to me that you can make really interesting, unique, different kinds of looks with a palette with which I was having trouble. I mean, I've seen Betty Jean's looks with this palette, but I think Katie is more aligned with my personal aesthetic. Betty Jean tends to go a little more towards monochromatic side. She doesn't generally throw in lots of different colors. So with this palette, I can kind of see her vision. I think she was thinking a matte and a shimmer, a matte and a shimmer, a matte and a shimmer, and they work together just fine. So if you want to do something more monochromatic, you're still going to get the texture and the shiftiness of the sparkly shades, but that's just not my aesthetic. I rarely want something monochromatic. So I was happy and excited to see what Katie did with this palette because I was really having some trouble getting going with it. Same brush now into Anomalia. This is the beautiful orangey shimmer. This is really a very pretty tone. And again, I have sprayed and I will just touch it right here. We know the formula now, right? This is not a surprise to anyone. I have a little bump on my eyelid right here. It's actually subdermal, it's under the skin. It doesn't hurt or anything. It's just this little bump that I only notice when I'm putting shimmer there. And I go, wait, what's that? Actually, my mom noticed it. When she came to visit and she saw me putting on my eyeshadow one day, she goes, is there a bump on your eyelid? And I said no, because at the time I had recently had like a sty on the lash line and it had just healed. And I was like, no, it's gone. But I misunderstood maybe, because a few weeks later I was like, wait a minute, there is a little bump there. Where did that come from? Anyway, it's there and it doesn't really annoy me except that now I know it's there. Okay, so now on the lower lash line, she definitely brought in these tealy tones. The first is called Kingdom. It is the matte. If you don't know Katie Marie, I recommend checking out her channel. She doesn't upload as much as she used to because she has several kids now, and they also recently, I think the last year, her family bought like a homestead. So she's busy. She's got a little menagerie of farmyard animals, and now I'm picking up Familiar. This is the teal shimmer. I will spray it again. She's also a homeschooling mom. She's got a lot on her plate between children and animals and household and everything. So I know she doesn't upload as many eyeshadow kinds of videos as she used to, or even I think as she wants to, but I think that she started, yes, she started an Instagram account anyway. I don't know if it's YouTube. I think it might just be Instagram, about the homesteading side of things. The Makeup Homesteader, I think is what it's called. I'll link that down below as well because Katie's great, and if you don't follow her, you might like what she does. She's really nice, she's sweet, and she's very creative with her eyeshadow looks. So when she does upload eyeshadow videos here on YouTube, I do enjoy watching them. Now, she has put a few up recently that are, I think it's like reaction videos, or she's trying out a new format on her channel, I think, where she's doing her eyeshadow but also talking about trends or things that are happening on other platforms and TikTok and whatnot. I'm not as much into those. I really do prefer just the eyeshadow focused videos, but you know, she's trying things out and that's fine. Anyway, check out her channel if you like this sort of content, and maybe you'll find something that you enjoy. I'm making sure that Fauna meets nicely with this beautiful vibrant green shimmer. But that is the look. Now, I'm trying to recall, in one of the 3 looks that she did with this palette, Katie used graphic liner to dress up the outer wing area. I'm not sure, I don't remember, but I haven't decided what I'm going to do to finish it off, so let me go off camera and figure that out, and I will be right back with you guys to close out this video. Okay, let me tell you guys what I did to finish off. I did end up using a little bit of graphic liner. This is my Split It Painter's Paradise palette from Artitude Cosmetics. It was an investment for me, and I am getting my money's worth. I think it's a lot of fun, honestly. Lots of colors. You can mix colors and customize if you want to, and then clean up is super easy. All you have to do is make that pan wet again and put a tissue onto it and pull it off, and it's clean. It's just so easy, so much fun. 1 drop of water is enough usually, and it dries very fast. It's a good time. So what I did was I took this orange and I did 3 little dots right here, and then I took these 2 colors, I mixed them together a little bit. I lined my upper lashes and did a little bit of a wing, but then I went into black and I went over that wing with the black just in the outer half. So you can see the purple over here into the black over there. On my face, I am wearing this blush from ColourPop called Matchmaker, a brand new highlighter palette that I have. This is Frosting from Cosmic Beauty or Cosmic Brushes, and I used the Cinnamon Swirl shade in the center here. And then on my lips, I'm wearing the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Bit of Honey. I did do a waterline color, and it's the Creme Gel liner from ColourPop. I believe this is the shade Boots. Yes, the shade Boots. Okay, so that's it. Now, let me tell you what I'm thinking about the palette. Today's look really was kind of the deciding factor for me as to whether or not I really wanted to keep the palette. You know, I said in the beginning that I really have struggled with this palette, but the colors by themselves are really, really beautiful and vibrant. I love the formula. I know I love Oden's Eye. I just didn't want to keep it if I wasn't enjoying it. That being said, I do enjoy this look. I think this is really pretty. It's really fun. I used almost all the colors in the palette except for these 2 right here. I used everything else. I had a good time. The look is very vibrant and beautiful. So I think I am going to keep it for a while yet and see if I pull it into other looks, if I really reach for it to combine it with other palettes. Now, that has been my plan kind of since the beginning anyway, because I wasn't inspired by it. I thought, well, let's just see if I use it. And I haven't really been using it, so today's look was to kind of push me in one direction or the other. I'm going to keep it for a bit longer because the colors are beautiful. I kind of want to play, this is my favorite shade in the palette. I kind of want to take this shade and pair it with reds and pair it with yellows and oranges. I want to mess about with that shade specifically. And honestly, I would have a little bit more trouble, I think, selling the palette anyway because this one is broken. And because this one's hard pan, I think it might be harder for me to sell. Editing Rachel here. I wanted to hop on and mention I did finally take some Scotch tape to the hard pan in this palette, and it seemed to help. I mean, when I looked at the hard pan before I took the tape to it, you could see the barrier created probably from oils in my fingers. And then after I put some tape on it and pressed it around, lifted it off, did it again with a clean section of tape. I did that 3 or 4 times, and now when I look at the pan, I don't see that imprint anymore. So I think it helped, and now I just need to try to remember to go into the pan with only a brush and not my fingers. I'm pretty sure it's the oils in our fingers that creates hard pan. That might not be the case, that's just been my personal experience, but anyway, just wanted to mention because I know I've said in several videos that I was going to try the tape method to see if it helped with the hard pan, and it seems to have helped. Just cursory looking at the pan, it looks different than it did before. So I figure I might as well keep it. I would love to hear your thoughts, of course. Tell me if you have this palette, if you like the palette. It's not to disparage or talk bad about Betty Jean or what she did with the brand. It's simply a matter of preference. I know that she loves it and it's her palette, and that's great. I am a different consumer who has different preferences, so for me it's a little bit less of a shoe-in, but I do like today's look. So many thanks to Katie Marie, who will probably never see this video, but many thanks to her anyway for giving me the inspiration and the incentive to play with the palette again and try to really get some enjoyment out of it and see if I want to keep it in my collection. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the video. I hope you've enjoyed the look. Do let me know what you think in the comments as always. Be sure to check out Katie Marie. All of her information is linked down below in the description box. I hope that you'll consider liking and subscribing if you like this kind of content and you want to see more, and I will see you guys again in my next video. Bye.